Now, Storm Watch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreath.
Welcome back to News Watch 12 midday. Right now you're taking a live, very blue look at a very sunny Yreka. This view coming from the Rain Rock Casino. And earlier this morning we were in the 20s, the low 20s at Yreka. It has since warmed up to 37 degrees. We're expecting things to warm up into the 40s a little bit later on. This morning we were seeing temperatures in the single digits, specifically up in northern portions of Klamath and Lake counties. Chemult was down to 4 degrees. Klamath Falls was down to 8 degrees. So safe to say we're well above that now, but still struggling to get above freezing on the east side. We're even struggling to get above freezing within the west side valleys. We finally reached that in Medford, Grants Pass, really all throughout Siskiyou County as well, but just above it there in Mount Shasta City, and we're at 48 degrees already in Brookings. Now, even though we don't have an air stagnation advisory out, and this is usually when I'd show this map, either now or during the summertime when we have a lot of wildfire smoke, but you see this little blip of yellow on the screen right there. That represents air quality that's in that moderate category. And what that means is that the inversion within the valley is starting to get a little bit stronger, which means that that could be a preceding indicator of more air stagnation to come. So I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service in Medford issued an air stagnation advisory either today or tomorrow or even Thursday, just given that we're not going to have any movement of air within the valleys. We're not going to have a lot of mixing, so we'll probably see air quality reduced even further as we go later into the week. Later into today in the Rogue Valley, we'll have temperatures topping out in the mid-40s. Plenty of sunshine. We'll have a few passing clouds. We are seeing some big puffy cumulus clouds on our Newswatch 12 weather cameras in Ashland and in Medford as well. So for today, lots of sunshine all over the place. Temperatures that are cooler than average. We're in the 30s, or we're going to be in the 30s, and even 20s on the east side. Look at this, 25 degrees up at Crater Lake. 40s throughout Siskiyou County, the same deal within the Rogue Valley, and just above 50 degrees there in Brookings. And the winds today, they'll kind of have an east to west component to them along the coast. So we could have a bit of a Chetco effect there in Brookings, so I wouldn't be surprised if that temperature did get a few degrees above 52 degrees. Now, for tonight, temperatures, they're going to go back into freefall mode once again as we don't have any clouds, so that'll allow the radiation to escape, which the bottom line of that is we're going to be cold. And so we're going to be in the teens and even single digits on the east side, lower 20s throughout Siskiyou County, upper 20s throughout the Rogue Valley. Maybe we could see that fog return to the Grants Pass area. And we do have a system coming in from the north. It'll start to sag along the Curry County coastline. Maybe we could have a few showers, but those chances are looking pretty slim to none. Here's your camping forecast over the next 3 days. Very cold conditions up in the Cascades, so if you want to go camping, of course that's something you have to keep in mind, but we will warm up to more of a mild place for this time of the year as we head into Friday. Kind of the same thing with the west side valleys, a pretty substantial jump in temperatures as we get into Friday, and that jump only goes up from there as we could have high temperatures topping out in the 60s as we get into the later portion of the weekend and into the early portion of next week. Here's your 7-day forecast, an unfortunately dry 7-day forecast along the coast. It doesn't look like we'll have a little impulse coming through on Monday. That's bringing just the slightest chance of showers. That really won't make a dent in our drought conditions. A little bit later in the show, I'll show you some kind of metrics that will really put some numbers to just how bad our drought has actually gotten, with the month of January just being a terrible month for drought efforts, of course. But Northern California, bad drought there, and it will only get worse as we have more dry conditions. Kind of the same thing on the east side. The only good thing is that we'll have temperatures warming back up into the mid-50s come time for next week, so that'll feel very pleasant. Up in the mountains, also keeping things dry, warming things up. The snowpack, it's suffering. It'll continue to do so. Then for the Rogue Valley, also keeping things very dry over the next 7 days, but like I showed you on that temperature graphic, flirting with the 60s as we head into next week.
Flirting with the 60s sounds like a name of a band. I just had that fire off in my head. But either way, good weekend for people to go out and maybe enjoy the sunshine, listen to some music in the park. It looks like, unfortunately, we're going to be pretty dry.
Maybe some music by Flirting with the 60s.
Yes, my new favorite band.
Some deep tracks. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Josh.
Of course.